Hi, good morning, and welcome to this episode of the ORourke Report, where we talk about things in the pop culture zeitgeist and reality television. A lot of Bravo, and anything that people are talking about. So, before we start, let me just mention if you would, if you like what you're seeing, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. It helps me out with the analytics that YouTube gathers and reports on, so it doesn't cost anything. But if it is something you wanna be notified about, next every time a report comes out, hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, now the last time on the last episode, I briefly touched on this, and I just want to go into a little bit more detail. I touched on the fact that the producers, um, or the editors, cameramen, whatever, for $1 Million Listing showed Tracy Tudor. She had those ridiculous high heels on that she's, supposed to be interacting with clients and people. And because they're ridiculous high heels, she stumbled while going down the stairs. And the editors, producers made sure they showed that over and over and over again, which kind of, reminded me, yeah, the editors and producers will always show you flaws in the women. Some of them they do give really great filters on. One that comes to mind is, seems to me she's got some sort of filter on her, is the new Jennifer on the OC. The filters look great, but if you ever see her without a filter, she was on Watch What Happens Live the other night, wow, big difference. So the question becomes, do you want to live in a filtered world? Is that your reality, or do you want to live in reality? Because reality is, I don't think. Well, anyway, we could go on and on about that. Let's just go on producers going out of their way to not out of their way, but making sure they don't miss a beat when it comes to making these women. If they're looking bad, they're going to show it to you. And the reason for that is, I think, how men have sports and they can go on and on. They can talk about sports. They listen to radio stations about sports. They listen to podcasts and all sorts of things about sports. Well, people in the Bravo world, do the same thing. I mean, these shows are our sports teams, and within the shows, there's the guys that you root for, and there are the guys that you don't root for, and the producers and the editors know that. If you don't like someone, they're you if you see it on TV, them do something stupid or they look bad, you're like, I thought so. It's the same thing as sports. You're rooting for a team, you're not rooting for a team. It all breaks down to the same thing. So the next time, ladies, if your husband or your boyfriend or your significant other gives you a hard time about watching Bravo, tell them they're not allowed to watch the Super Bowl. They're not allowed to watch the playoffs. And all of a sudden, you'll see them react to that. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on that. But the one thing the producers, in my mind, never fail to show you, almost all these women wear hair extensions. Almost all of them. The only one I can think of that probably doesn't, and she's the one that, in my mind, dresses age appropriately, dresses elegantly, her hair is always done appropriate for her look, is the one and only Countess. She knows how to do it, in my mind. All the other ones, like if you look at the OC, there was a shot of Tamra Judge's hair. She had these gobs of extensions in the back of her head in a ponytail. And I'm going to go into a little, because I did some research on where these extensions come from. I'm going to go on to that in a second. But almost all of them wear extensions. And I may have seen somebody with extensions where it wasn't apparent, but they're almost always apparent. And it's the telltale line in the back of the head. You know, their hair is only really this long, and they're wearing extensions. Well, Tudor has these extensions down to her butt. Tracy, you're in your 50s. Why are you wearing a hairdo for a 17-year-old girl? It's not a great look. I don't think it's a great look. Can it with the extensions. Not only do you need a stylist, but you may want to talk about whoever does your hair too. Because any of these women who are of a certain age that are wearing long cascades of extensions, it just, I don't know. That's my 2 cents on that one. I just don't think that it looks very good. So anyway, the producers are always showing you, if that line is there, and it's almost always there, they will show you that line. The other thing is you can see extensions, they just don't flow, they don't move. See how your hair is supposed to move? They don't. They just lie, they're just usually very lank. I think the word is lank. Which brings me to Gina from the OC, who finally got a cute haircut last year. It looked adorable. She could maintain it. There were so many things she could do with it because she went through a rough time with her hair there. Remember when she went platinum? Uh, so now it looks like to me she's got extensions back in her hair. She's still got the short hair, but she's put extensions that come up here. And there are these lank panels of hair. They show the back of her head, and I said, God, she is wearing extensions. Oh, please, who's ever perpetrating this upon womankind needs to be stopped, needs to be apprehended and stopped. So producers will always show you the line or the length or the two different colors. They'll always show it to you. You'll always see it. And so I think these women got to know what they're signing up for when they sit for those hours and hours and hours of these glam squads. They only look for that one picture in the glam squad mirror, and then they go out into the real world. The other things I think that they always show you is the Botox wrinkle. If you do Botox, there's this wrinkle that happens on the side of your nose, and I don't know which side it is, or does it depend on which side? I don't know, but if they have Botox and they have that wrinkle on the side of their nose, which they all do if they have Botox, boy, that's the shot the producer's going to show you. The producer's always going to show you the wrinkle on the side of the nose shot, which is another way of saying not only does she have extensions, but she has Botox too. So, is that come from a deep-seated passive-aggressive dislike of these women? I don't know, but God, when you think of all the money that they spend to be, in their mind, glamorous, to be housewives, and then you've got these forces working against you to always make sure they get the shot of the artificiality of the look. It's I don't know, it's a little sobering. It would be sobering for me. Okay, I went on about a little bit about hair extensions because it seems to me they are everywhere. They're all doing it. I think Lisa Vanderpump does it too. You know, these women have all processed their hair for years. They're at a certain age and their hair is probably thinned, and they're compensating for that with extensions. Okay, well, I guess that makes sense. But, and they all do it. The only one I don't think does it, like I said, was the Countess. Dorinda used to have a great head of hair. She started growing it longer, and I didn't like when she did that. When she kept that, short, really well styled with that blondie blonde hair, boy, she had a great look. In fact, of any of the casts, the ones that dressed appropriately and also well for their age, and wore their hair was the New York cast, the old New York cast. Um, I'm thinking Ramona as as dislikable. I thought Ramona was very dislikable. That was my opinion. I'm sure people loved her, and but anyway, Ramona always looked great. She had great hairdo. I loved it. One time she came back, they were all meeting in the Hamptons, and she had obviously had a teeny tiny little work done because, as she said, "Look, now I just got refreshed. That's all I got was refreshed." Uh, Kudos to me for my refreshedness. Well, whatever she had done, she looked fabulous. She looked perfect for her age, and she was doing it right. Mm, uh, I maybe because I'm born and raised in New York, maybe that's why I have a penchant for them. But I always thought the New York women knew what they were doing. So hair extensions. I did do a little research before I came on today. And in fact, I did a lot of research because my concern has always been with these hair extensions is that they're kind of exploitative of the third world. And even though all the research I came across, and let me just give you some background. In the hair extension market, 60% of it is polyester or some kind of synthetic fiber. More cost effective, variety of reasons, supply chain issues, etc. Um, but the real expensive ones are the real hair. And you will, I got to put Kardashians in this. Kardashians always with the hair extensions. And I would like to think they could afford the real hair as opposed to polyester. But they come from primarily India, China, Vietnam, Cambodia, and some places European. Well, they're calling it European. It's not. I don't think Russia and the Ukraine are European, but Russia and the Ukraine. And while there is what they're calling a hair extension industry, I will quote here from one publication that I read. Hair extension industry is not always transparent about their supply chain. Um, and they cited China actually in that article. And when we see what China does with the weaker people, you gotta say, okay, you got to be a little suspect as far as a human right here. Are women shorn of their hair so it can be sold on the market to idiotic housewives in the OC? I don't know. But while they did say there was an industry that is supposed to oversee this stuff, the industry is in parts is not in the U.S. I mean, the supply chain, the supply is coming from Southeast Asia. So anyway, keep that in the back of your mind, people. Next time you feel the urge to go out and buy hair extension from real hair, where did it come from? Who paid the price? And is it like bad karma? It could be bad karma. So that is what I read about the hair extension industry because it just seems to me it's everywhere now. So, great. Okay. Oh, and did I mention that it looks like Gina? Yeah, I did. Gina looks like she's actually using hair extensions right now. I'll just sum it up by saying if these women have done something foolish that makes them look foolish, did they fall in a pool? Did they get bonked on the bean by a football like Vicky Gunvalson did one time? They're going to show it. And it's like Leanne. Remember Leanne from Dallas? Didn't she come out of the ladies' room one time trailing toilet paper? Instead of someone, hey, wait a minute, Leanne, before you come out, you got some toilet paper on your shoe. Nope, it was the cameras were up catching everything. So that's all I've got to say about that. Okay, now I have one or two little small things. Yeah, extensions. Oh, I want to say something about Couple of things on the OC, if I may. I'm going to say Shannon Bedore. Now, I don't know if she had hair extensions in when they were at whatever that party was when she had her confrontation or conversation with Alexis Bellino, who was, predictably dressed like an aged Barbie doll, hair extensions, makeup, the whole 9 yards. Shannon, in my mind, looked great. Her hair was great, her makeup was great, the dress she had on was good, her shoes were good. I thought Shannon really, really looked good. And again, the only one who knew how to dress in that crew. And the other one who, oh, well, I guess Fancy Pants was dressed well. She had an appropriate uh, dress on, I thought. But this is the thing with Fancy Pants. This is why she's off-putting to the other women and why she's got the name Fancy Pants, is when she wants to, when she, is the hostess of something, she'll always do something that will paint her in the light of someone who really knows the more elegant things in life. You may not know the more elegant things, Tamara, but I do. Please have your amuse-bouche and then park onto my portagere and sit down on my recamier. I mean, she does all these things just to make herself look good. It's not that she really has all those things. Well, she does have all those things, but she only brings them to light to make herself look more sophisticated, more elegant than others. That's just my take on her. But that's always been her. Um, and she's not bad. I think her heart is really good and her intentions are really good. And I think that she tries very, very hard to be as honest and as transparent as she can, which is admirable, which is, compare that to a Tamra Judge. So anyway, Fancy Pants, Shannon looked good, Fancy Pants. Now, let's go on to a Jennifer Padrati, if I'm saying that right. Wow. In my mind, Gina had every right to lace into her a little bit on the how dare she uh, allow Gina or ask Gina to find her a rental that she was not going to pay the rent. Or I think that she was not going to be able to pay the rent. Boy, I really don't, you could be namaste, everybody be nice and kind all you want, but when it comes to money, do not F with other people's money or reputation. You can F with your own as much as you want, but when you draw somebody else into it, that is not good. And that's exactly what she did. And when she got called on it, she acted absolutely shocked and surprised that anybody would be that rude to her. No, little missy, you're the one that signed a lease where you didn't even do any due diligence to know if you could pay for or not. Who else did that? That was on Miami. Somebody was, the Lisa Hochstein girl. When she was first getting divorced, she was going to go around and look at penthouses or to replace her Star Island manse that she was being kicked out of, and she had no idea what her budget was going to be. Well, you have no right going around looking at everything, do you? I mean, 101, know what your budget is. I have no patience for women like that. No patience whatsoever. Um, yeah, I'm very, I'm highly critical of that. Know where your money is, and guess what? Don't F with other people's money. So, anyway, bing, 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 bong, bong, bong. Funny calling Alexis JJ. I forgot what that was about. I don't even remember. Jennifer about Gina's hair. Oh, And then here again on Jennifer Padrati, if I'm saying her name right, I don't know if I am. She's on Watch What Happens Live. Andy kind of calls her on it a little bit. And she blink, blink, blink. What are you talking about? Unless I'm very much mistaken, she's got a new set of choppers. They're not as bad as chicklet choppers, but she's got, and you know those things are not cheap. They're like, I'm ballparking it here. I don't even know if I've got the right number, but they're like 20, 25,000, maybe even, depending on how good the doctor is, probably even more than that. Who did she get to pay for that? She claimed she does it all on trade. What, $25,000 worth of yoga lessons? Okay. So anyway, okay, so that's that. I got a couple of little small things here. Uh, I've gone on and on about the Dubai. Oh, wait a minute, I don't have a lot. Oh, okay, real quick. Dubai still underwhelms. The one thing I will say about Caroline Brooks, she's got a major Kenya Moore vibe. And by Kenya Moore vibe, I mean somebody who really, really plays dirty and goes under the belt. It's got a real big cruel streak. Um, and I watched that Hannah Berner special, the one who used to be on Summer House. I watched that on Netflix. I said, okay, I was never a big fan on her, and I really disliked her in the last season she was on. Um, I didn't think it was very good. I mean, I stayed in for about 10 minutes, and you think you would open at least with one good one as you come on stage. I gave her 10 minutes to come up with something, and she didn't. I turned it off. So, anyway, that's my opinion. So, if you stuck in, thank you so much. And if you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button. It certainly helps me out, and I really appreciate that. And I'll look forward to our next chat.